is Dr. Victor. I'm Associate Director of the Cedars-Sinai Heart Institute, and where I also am the Director of Translational Research and direct the Clinical Hypertension Center. And I'm fortunate to hold the George Burns and Gracie Allen Chair in Cardiology Research. So heart disease is now emerging as the major cause of death in boys with Duchenne. And right now there's no specific way to treat the heart disease in Duchenne. We use the same sort of approaches in adult heart disease. It's not clear whether these treatments really do slow progression. We think they do, and there's some evidence, but we don't have very large randomized trials, in part because this is a rare disease. When we found that boys with Duchenne muscles don't produce nitric oxide the way they're supposed to, I didn't know what to do about it, and that was more than 10 years ago. And then a paper came out in the journal Nature by good friends of mine at the University of Iowa that showed that a single dose of Cialis or Viagra right before a bout of exercise could restore the blood flow increase the way it's supposed to in the mouse model. We're not sure that Cialis and PD-5 inhibitors, that class of drugs, is necessarily the best way to boost the nitric oxide pathway in Duchenne and Becker. We want to see if there may be some other treatments, and thanks to funding from Coalition Duchenne, we're very grateful for that, because now we're embarking on pilot studies of a nitric oxide donor. The reason we're interested in the nitric oxide donor is because drugs like Cialis don't make the muscle produce nitric oxide. Just whatever is produced works better. We found that if we gave a simple inorganic nitric oxide donor, actually in the form of beetroot juice, which is a non-prescription nutraceutical, that it also peaks in 3 hours, and it worked just about as well as Cialis to restore blood flow regulation in young men with Becker. We can cut to the chase and find out very quickly if there's any positive hope for these different therapies by working with the men with Becker before we proceed to the children with Duchenne. We're doing muscle biopsies before, at the beginning, and then 3 months after daily beetroot juice. And the reason is that we want to see if the nitric oxide not only improves blood flow, but also activates satellite cells, which are the skeletal muscle's resident population of stem cells for muscle regeneration and repair, and also if the nitric oxide would affect proteins in the cell that block inflammation. I just have a feeling that there's such a groundswell of clinical research that's bubbled up from basic science to the clinical setting that something good's going to happen soon. I hope so. I hope on multiple fronts.